We're live, guys.
Right now?
Yeah. Hello, everyone. I'm Captain Logan, and welcome back to the Captain Logan Show. We are trying a new stream method this evening, so if there are weird issues here and there, forgive us for that. Oh, and we're already getting one. It's called feedback. Oh, the feedback's gone. Well, that's exciting. Okay, so greetings, everybody. Once again, I'm Captain Logan. It's the Captain Logan Show. Eric is behind me. He's joining us tonight.
Nobody told me about the suits.
Special guest Eric Holden. Yeah, I didn't know if you'd want to dress up. You just got back from work.
That's true.
I didn't even think to, honestly, I totally forgot to tell you about that. Sorry about that. And then look, it's the very dashing and dapper Connor Nielsen filling in for a DJ this evening.
Oh, thank you very much. Happy to be here.
Hey, thanks for hanging out with us, Connor, and helping us out and modding the show. Connor's going to be producing and modding for us this evening. Okay, it looks like we're in the actual window for the live show that I set up on YouTube, so that's exciting. I'll just briefly mention the technical issues we've been having with live shows lately. Google Hangouts was completely down the other night, which is why we didn't do the Captain Logan Show on Wednesday, which is when we usually do it. And I had to very quickly figure out some other methods, so I had to download OBS, and I had to figure out how to broadcast from a desktop application and all of that. The good news is it lets me put in a whole bunch of bells and whistles, and we look a lot more professional, and you get to see Connor's lovely face the entire time. It's so exciting, but the unfortunate thing was it took me too long to get that rolling and figured out to actually do the Captain Logan Show that night. So I got it figured out in order to do the commentary for Spider-Verse, which I did with Dan. Dan was supposed to be our special guest this week on the Captain Logan Show, and it didn't work out. But happily, Eric decided to join us, so we have a special guest
Connor too
this evening. And
a special guest.
He is, but he's also working. He's also filling in
that's
for
what
him.
Dan was gonna do, right?
You mean DJ? No, Dan wasn't. DJ was still going to chat moderate.
I thought Dan was chat moderating.
No,
Okay.
Otherwise, I would have asked you to chat moderate.
Okay.
No, Connor is a special guest, but he's a special guest moderator, a producer. So anyway, looks like this is working really well. Connor is archiving questions, so you guys go ahead and start asking me things. It's an Ask Me Anything show, so anything you want to talk about, news happening in pop culture right now, superhero movies, science fiction, whatever you want to talk about, channel stuff, whatever, get ready to ask us things. Back Studios just sent us a $4.99 super chat. We will tackle that here in just a little bit. Thanks for that. I want to mention the super chats. That's, of course, open, and if you want to make sure that your question gets read on the air and that we talk directly to you, you can leave a super chat anytime during the hour, and we sure appreciate all of the support. You guys are wonderful for doing that. This show and Geekvolution at large are supported mostly by our viewers, and you guys keep the thing alive, keep me in business. I sure appreciate it. You guys are absolutely wonderful. Tonight, we have a super chat goal. We've never done this before. If we hit $75 tonight, I will start a Telltale Batman Enemy Within stream tomorrow night. I'll start playing that video game. That is a game that I have to play through for an old request, and if we hit the $75 goal tonight, I will broadcast that and you guys can watch me play it, and that is how I will tackle that. Otherwise, I will either play it on my own, or we will try this again next week and see if there's any interest, and I'll try to stream next weekend. But if we hit it tonight, I will start streaming that tomorrow night. That is the deal. That's what we're doing, and that's all the news that's fit to print. Okay, let's go ahead and just get right into stuff. Eric, we haven't seen you in a little while. You got a new job. You've been busy and working and stuff. How's life? Anything you want to talk about before we get started? Any cool new developments?
I assume everything that is worth talking about will come up. I assume people ask about the Terminator trailer, and I don't know if there's anything else.
Yeah, the Terminator trailer,
the
Picard trailer, teaser, the tiny Picard teaser.
You remember the darkest time of the universe?
No, I don't. Because
when he took us out of that.
Okay, but to be fair, that's just sort of a time past sort of thing. Like we're real close to 25th century at that point, and apparently there's just something There's some big
Oh,
war
that's
or
not
something.
a reference to something we'd seen before.
It's not, and it's
Oh,
not. And
I
it's
was
not
like, that's not a thing that happened.
and it's not an against canon thing because we know that takes place way after Nemesis.
Okay.
It's like 2399 or something.
Okay.
It's like Spider-Man 2099. It's Star Trek 2399.
Well, he does look old.
Yep. So I mean, it makes
We'll
sense.
talk about it when we get to it.
We absolutely will. Okay, so as far as real quick channel business goes, Connor and I are going to be doing a discussion on Brightburn that we're going to put up for you tomorrow. So look forward to that. Whether you saw that movie or if you're just curious to know whether or not you should go, we will tell you what we think about it and whether or not we think you should go see that. And what else is going on? We'll have at least one new commentary next week. Captain Logan Show will be new again on Wednesday, and I'm aiming to have a new episode of Rewind up by the end of next week or the beginning of the week after. It won't be a superhero rewind, it will be a science fiction rewind, and I'm not telling folks what thing I'm doing. The next superhero rewind will be Ant-Man. I'll be doing that directly after that, but I'm doing something different for science fiction rewind that was requested a long time ago by Bag Studios. It's his fault that I even have to do this. It's not a movie that I would have picked on my own. It's not a thing I want to have to write about, but I'm doing it, and I hope it comes out great. Okay, Connor, are you ready to get rolling?
I am ready to get rolling.
Are you excited?
Yes, I'm very excited.
He looks excited. I love your suit. You've really outdressed me today, sir.
It looks like that suit that John Wick gets in 3, the second suit.
It does. That's true. Are you cosplaying John Wick? Is that what you're doing?
I must have gotten this cosplay like 5 years ago, so I was a...
Connor's frozen up. That's the problem with coming right in from Skype. Okay. Connor, you still with us?
I'm still here, yeah. It's a gun barrel gray, kind of dark color, dark gray. So,
I want that Crayola crown.
Gun barrel gray.
Gun barrel gray, yeah, absolutely. Okay, so why don't we start with the pre-written, and then there's a whole bunch of super chats already, so we'll jump back and blow through those pretty soon. Connor, what is our first written question? And by first, I just mean the first thing that you see that you like and you want to talk about. What do you see?
So the first question comes from Kellen O'Rourke. He said, how do you feel about Brightburn? We, of course, are doing a review that will be going up tomorrow. I don't know if you wanted to give any initial thoughts or if you just wanted to wait until tomorrow to let the review speak for itself.
I don't want to tell anybody what I think of that yet.
I will say, I think you should watch the review and find out.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Let's see. Cinematographic asked 3 questions, so I picked the second one because it's not fair if I pick all 3 of them. He asks, if given the choice between Mission Impossible 1996 or GoldenEye, which 90s spy movie would you watch first?
I know the answer.
You know the answer for me?
I know the answer for you.
Yeah, go ahead. You give my response here.
It's GoldenEye, because you've seen it and you like it, and you've never made it all the way through the original Mission Impossible without falling asleep.
I've fallen asleep every time I've attempted to watch that movie. That's absolutely right. I should finally go back and do that, because now that I'm more familiar with some of those characters, with the more recent one, because I loved that movie, maybe it'll be easier for me to go back and watch those?
Maybe.
You don't know?
I don't think so. I don't think you're ever going to like that movie.
Okay, well, I'll just keep watching the new ones.
Like
They're great.
It's not like one he's doing 2.
I do want to see 4.
You should see 4
because I didn't see 4.
No, 5.
And
you should see 5.
was it 6 that we saw?
Yeah, 6 is what we saw.
I don't know what the numbers are.
4 is the Brad Bird one.
They're not in the titles.
It's worth seeing for that.
Okay,
but it is the weakest villain of the series. But
and I've listened to you review all these, but I can't remember exactly what you said.
A year ago.
The oh my god, it's true. The third one was Abrams, and
yes, that's my least favorite.
You said it's not.
It's a lot of people's favorite, so you know.
Okay. Cool. Well, I may try that again, or also at some point. Anyway, so once again, trying out a new setup tonight. So if there's any technical issues or anything, folks, let us know. I had some weird echoey feedback stuff going on in the Spider-Verse commentary. So if you guys hear any of that, let us know, and I will do whatever I can on my end to fix it. Hey, Connor, what's your answer to that question? Which of those would you rather go back and watch?
Mission Impossible. So the Mission Impossible franchise is amazing, like just from like an idea standpoint, where they let great directors just do whatever they want with a spy franchise. And what's cool about the original Mission Impossible is that it's not an action movie, which makes it kind of an anomaly, and it is very Brian De Palma. And he goes very De Palma on a spy movie. I don't know what the plot of that movie is, but doggone it, am I invested while I'm watching it, and I don't necessarily know what's happening. I
wouldn't agree that it's not an action movie. Like, there are set pieces.
Yeah,
I know, like, no guns get fired, but, like, it's still kind of a spectacle film. It's not like The Untouchables, which is not an action film.
But it's a suspense film before it's an action film.
Sure.
There are a lot, and that was a movie I didn't really appreciate the first Mission Impossible until last year when I finally saw 2 and 3, and 2 sucks and 3 is all right. But the thing is, those are action movies that are responding to what is popular at the time, because Mission Impossible 3 feels very post-Bourne, very post-Michael Bay's big break, and Mission Impossible 2 feels like, well, it's a Hong Kong action movie, but at the time it was released, it was like post-Matrix. It felt like a knockoff of the Matrix.
You said that.
Yeah, in a positive way, I described it as the single most 90s film ever made.
But that's why he enjoyed it. He got that it wasn't good, but yeah.
I don't hate that movie as much as Rasco hates it. Rasco has said that he is surprised there is a Mission Impossible franchise after 2.
Is he a John Woo guy?
I don't know if I think that's the only John Woo movie he's seen.
Because I also am a John Woo guy. I like John Woo a lot.
I've seen Face Off. I think Face Off is awesome. I really like Face Off. Face
Off is awesome.
But like when I think of Mission
Impossible, go back to the Chai and Fat stuff, the hard boiled and the killer and that stuff.
I really want to. But the thing with Mission Impossible 2 is like when I think of that movie, I think of like people walking around like a fancy house. It's really boring to me, and I don't think of like the crazy over the top action stuff.
Well, see, I always think of the 2 motorcycles going at each other and then leaping off and grabbing each other in midair.
Yeah, I mean, that stuff is in the movie, but like when I think of it, I just like bored out of my mind as it's like a rip-off. Like it's a scene-for-scene remake of Notorious, but bad. But anyways, besides that, I think Mission Impossible is just a very interesting movie, if nothing else, and it's and then GoldenEye I liked a lot when I was younger, but the older I get, the less and less I seem to like it. So that's my answer. I'm way too long-winded on that.
That's okay. I got the wrong logo tonight though. I should have had DJ make an Eric and Connor show logo, but I don't have that.
I don't know what my answer is.
Sorry for the false advertising. So
probably GoldenEye.
Yeah,
but
is
I
it
don't know.
Back and forth? Well, I don't even know how much you like GoldenEye because we haven't gotten to that yet.
No, I have mixed feelings on GoldenEye.
I do want to watch that with you.
It's kind of
because I'm curious to know if I'll even like it again because I haven't seen it in probably 10 years.
It's kind of like Spider-Man. Like every time I watch it, it's a coin flip whether I like it or not. Last time I watched it, I had a pretty good viewing experience, but there's a lot of good in that movie, and there's a lot of just meh in that movie.
So we gotta get rolling. We have a whole bunch of super chats. Apparently, this ticker thing doesn't work. This super chat goal thing. I guess it's probably taken from some other source and not super chats. So I'm gonna have to count that with my brain. But we're at like $22 right now. So we're on a good track for that to happen. What's up, Connor?
Oh, I have like a ticker of my own. Adding it up.
Oh, thanks for doing that. I appreciate it. Yes, this ticker is not working.
It's a lie.
It is. It's an absolute lie. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on. Connor, would you throw me a couple of super chats before we get back to the pre-written, please?
Okay, so our first super chat is a $4.99 from Bag Studios. If the Star Wars franchise was remade today, what would the pros and cons be of it? Would you start with the prequels first this time, and why/why not?
You know, I could see doing that either way.
I could too.
If I was going to reboot Star Wars, well, I could see doing it 3 ways. I could see rebooting Star Wars going all the way back. I could see starting at an Old Republic place. I could see doing, like, a pre-prequel trilogy and go, like, Dawn of the Jedi, whatever. I could see doing that, although I don't know if you would want to reboot in that place without knowing where that stuff was going.
And you don't want to make people wait that long for, like, all the stuff they know.
No, because they'd be waiting 20 years.
You don't, because the other thing is, like, here's this thing that's like Darth Vader, here's this other thing that's like Darth Vader, we're foreshadowing because we're going to eventually get to Darth Vader.
But starting from an Episode 1 place, Episode 1 would have to be a different thing. I don't think it would be like you start with 9-year-old Anakin and, like, the pod race and whatever.
No, you do it the way it should be done.
But I could certainly see starting with 16, 18, 20-something-year-old Anakin Skywalker.
What we all thought it would be.
Yeah, exactly.
My fear...
And kind of like the Star Wars done sober. Mm-hmm. Like, start from that place, and then eventually you get to Luke Skywalker.
My fear with the way everything goes nowadays is if you start from Episode 1, by the time we get to Episode 3, we will be so off course that, like, you get to Episode 4, and it's like, well, it's going to be a different thing because we've naturally evolved in our own direction, so we can't really do Luke.
Yeah. Well, and would it be like the Spider-Man thing where we just avoid as much stuff, like a whole bunch of stuff that people have, feel like they've seen a lot?
Not if Disney's making it.
Yeah.
It would only be things you've seen before.
Probably not. Now, I know you not liking Last Jedi, and of course I don't care for that movie either. At this point, would that be a thing that you'd go for, like a straight-on Star Wars reboot, or would you want it to be,
creators.
or would you want it to be more like a like Terminator or Halloween thing, where we keep the original trilogy but only that?
I've always wanted to see that, where we ignore all the baggage from the prequels as well, and just kind of go, okay, we only have the things that we know in the original trilogy. I would want that, but at this point, under Disney's leadership, it would depend on who's writing and directing.
And I also think that would be hella risky, because I think more than a lot of other franchises, like especially more than like Halloween, I think the majority of people would admit that at least after 2, it makes sense to ignore that franchise. And like completely ignoring 2 also was maybe a little bit of a controversial move for fans of that franchise, but there are way too many Star Wars people who like the prequels and who like all of Star Wars, and I don't know that you'd get a lot of them on board. It would be like rebooting Star Trek, but not rebooting out of original trilogy.
Well, and there's
original continuity.
And there's also this contingent now of people who like the original 6 and view that as a set and don't like the Disney stuff, but view the prequels as equal to the originals.
Yeah.
Those people exist too.
So I don't know. That's tough. I don't see that ever happening.
No.
Unless we're talking like a couple of generations down the road. Like if it just gets so, cluster freak to the point where it's hard to even keep any of it straight.
I think the problem is you just can't reboot the original trilogy. Like that's what people care about. I guess you could reboot. I don't know. I don't see that happening, but anything's possible.
I don't know if you could reboot that. I could see someone attempting the Halloween thing, but again, not until way down the line. And someone else would almost have to own it, like you were saying. Connor, let's see another super chat, man.
All right, there's another $4.99 super chat from Bag Studios that says, "Sorry, I'm not able to watch tonight, but good luck and have a great show. Hope everyone's doing well." So thank you, Bag Studios.
Thanks, Justin. I appreciate all the support and the help, man. And hopefully you go back later and listen to the answer to your question that we just spent 5 minutes on. What else, Connor? Let's go back to the pre-written now.
Oh, I was since that was like really like a not really a question. I was gonna.
That's fine. All right, yeah, that's cool. You can go ahead and do another super chat then.
Tyler Parker gives us a $2 super chat saying, "Can you guys do a commentary on Jonah Hex?"
In fact, it's funny you mentioned Jonah Hex, because that is probably going to happen in the not-too-distant future. I've been talking with Duke, and we want to do more commentaries on bad superhero movies.
Have you finished Fantastic Four yet?
No, we haven't, but we wanted to do something different before we lunge back into Fantastic Four, because you and I did all those in Marvel Mania.
That's fair.
The first thing he said was, should we go ahead and go right back to FF, or should we do something else? And his suggestion was Jonah Hex.
Of course
he wants to come back and do that. So I think that is very likely in the not-too-distant future, and we'll
Irish Michael Fassbender
probably be live like a lot of the commentaries we've been doing lately. So I have a couple of pre-recorded commentaries that are coming soon that are both sci-fi things. I did a commentary with Adam on the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. That should come up next week. And then we've also recorded a commentary on Generations. The Terminator guys and I finally got that done. And First Contact in the not-too-distant future. So lots of commentaries coming your way, and more live superhero things. Also, in a couple weeks, I'm kicking around doing a commentary with one of the Genesis Gems guys, and we were kicking around The Mask, so that might happen also.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so lots of commentaries coming up soon. What else, CJ? Or CJ?
Well, I am a CJ because my middle name is Jeffrey, so...
Oh, wow, okay, well, I'll start calling you that, and then I won't get confused when I happen to be thinking of the guy I know named CJ and you. Connor, what do you have for pre-written for another pre-written question, sir?
All right. SS Jerry says, "Cap, ever watched Dragon Ball Evolution?"
No.
That's not Dragon Ball, LOL.
No, he hasn't watched any Dragon Ball.
I haven't watched any Dragon Ball at all. I wouldn't know the difference because I've never watched any of it.
Dragon Ball Evolution also has Dragon Fat Man.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
That's an Eric thing. That's not a me thing. That's not to say that I would never do it, but every time you talk about it, it's 1 part, well, that sounds kind of interesting, and 3 parts, yeah, that's about what I thought. That
I
doesn't sound like my thing. Like, it sounds so slow, I don't care.
At some point, I want to make you watch Battle of Gods. But other than that,
I've had people try to request like the live action Dragon Ball movie, and I just don't care.
That's what that is.
Oh, okay.
Which has exactly 2 cool moments in it. The entire film has exactly 2 cool moments, which, hey, is more than a lot of bad movies, but it has 2.
Well, it's a good thing, and Eric and I haven't done it, made me watch it in a long time, but we've been talking about bringing that back at some point, and it's funny that you put it that way, because making me watch it would be the only way to get me to actually watch it, because suggesting there are only 2 cool parts in it is not a way to convince a person to watch a thing.
No, that's Dragon Ball Evolution.
Oh, okay.
That's not what I would be making you watch.
Oh, I thought you were saying the movie you wanted me to watch only had 2 cool moments in it. I'm going to make you watch this movie, it's got 2 cool moments in it.
No, the movie
well, thanks, Eric. I don't want to do that.
And I am all caught up on the DVDs of Dragon Ball Super.
Zero says Dragon Ball Evolution is pure cancer.
I don't agree with that. You know what you might enjoy in Dragon Ball Evolution?
What's that?
It's got, oh man, I always get the names wrong. James Marston? Spike.
That's Marsters.
Marsters.
Yes.
It's got Spike. Spike is the bad guy in that movie.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to address this real quick. Game Station 3, I wish you weren't so apathetic toward Dark Phoenix. Well, I wish that movie looked like it was worth watching. Like,
I wish every trailer didn't look like a different movie.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm going to see it, and hopefully it turns me around, but the outlook on my Magic 8-Ball, not so good. The thing is, my expectations are so low for that movie that it actually doesn't have to do much to impress me at this point, really. Like, this is not a situation of, well, this movie's going to suck, so I'm going to go in, and no matter what it is, it's going to be terrible. Yeah, no. If that movie, like, I will probably like that more than a lot of people if it tries anything. Like,
my assumption, honestly, is that it's going to end up a lot like The Mummy. Simon Kinberg is very similar career-wise to the 2 guys that did Transformers and Amazing Spider-Man 2 and the Star
Orsi and Kurtzman.
So I think it's Kurtzman is the one who does, or is it Orsi? One of them, they split off, and one of them does The Mummy, and it's exactly the movie you think it's going to be.
Yeah, that's Orsi, because Kurtzman was developing Discovery as that was going on. Yeah.
So you're like, okay, well, like maybe on his own, doing his own thing, it'll be a little bit different. And it wasn't. It was exactly what you would expect that guy to make. I think Dark Phoenix is kind of going to be like that for some.
Well, Game Station 3 says there's new clips that look interesting, but, I never look at clips. Like, I'll watch a couple trailers, but I don't want to see scenes. That always takes me out in the theater. Do you have that, Connor? Where, like, if I watch a whole, 2 or 3 minute clip, then I'll go in the theater and I'll be like, oh, yeah, this is that whole scene I watched. It just takes me out.
Connor does media blackout, right?
No, I don't.
Connor's not a media blackout guy.
Not necessarily, but I don't watch clips. I remember when Infinity War was coming out, there was that clip where they have Vision on, the operating table, and they're, talking about, the gem in his head. And they have a line where, Shuri's like, why did you make it this way? And then Hulk's like, 'cause we didn't think about it. I'm like, but you guys didn't make Vision, Ultron did. What? Why? What? So it had me against the movie going in that, that they weren't paying as much attention to their continuity, as that movie does have a strong sense of continuity, but that's just the one moment that does kind of break down. So I don't like watching clips. As you say, it feels like I'm watching a TV show on a laptop screen or a phone screen, and then when I do see it in the theater, it's like I already saw this, and I kind of
not like that about late night talk shows.
They'll show you a clip from the movie, yeah. Game Station 3 says it actually was Kurtzman who did The Mummy, so I guess he was doing those simultaneously. But he wasn't, he was involved with Discovery, but I guess he wasn't, the main showrunner at that point, so that makes sense, yeah. Okay, we've got lots and lots more Super Chats. Once again, thank you guys. You're absolutely wonderful. We sure appreciate it. Let's get back to those, if we could.
1 second, I am copying them down. Shane Williams, though, does give us $1, but he didn't say anything. So,
thanks, buddy.
Shane, if you had a question,
if you had a question, feel free to just put it in the comments, and we'll see it. You don't have to put in another super chat. All
right, hold on, multitasking. So our next super chat comes from Thomas Edgehill, who gives us a $5 super chat, saying, a follow-up question from last week. What is the thing that you're looking the least forward to this year? You guys look sharp, and I love your channel. Well, thank you. Appreciate it.
Hey, thanks. Appreciate it. I'm sorry I didn't give Eric the memo.
It's McFarlane. It's sharp enough.
Yeah, sure. It's my favorite art. Once again, I almost wore that shirt today.
It's always this one. This is always the one we accidentally double wear.
I don't think we own many other shirts that
I
we've.
feel like there's a Batman shirt. Maybe I'm wrong.
Is there?
Maybe it's just this one.
We do both have that Boba Fett shirt,
That's true.
but I don't think we've ever happened to both wear that shirt.
No.
But that's a shirt that we both just randomly happen to both own, because the Boba Fett one.
I moved here with it.
Yeah, because the Boba Fett shirt we both have because I bought you that for Christmas and then I bought myself one.
No. Jason got it for me for Christmas. It was too small.
And then we got another one,
You
and then
got
I'm
another
wearing
one,
the
and
small
you're
one.
wearing the smaller one,
That's what it was. Okay. Anyway, so things we're least looking forward to this year. Well, it would have been Sonic, but that got moved to February.
Lion King, Aladdin.
Okay, but you can't say that because you're not going to watch them.
Yeah, because I'm not looking forward to them.
Oh.
I mean, I guess
Okay.
Dark Phoenix is something I'm going to see.
Yeah, I generally think the question, what are you least looking forward to, is like, you're going to go, but you don't want to have to look at
Then
it.
has
But
to be Dark Phoenix.
yeah. But if that's not what they mean, I am gonna go see Aladdin this weekend. DJ and I are gonna review that next week if he gets around to seeing it. But I don't have great hopes for that. But I am gonna see
This
it.
isn't a huge year. Like I have
It's
trouble
not.
broadcasting forward. Like what even is really coming out.
Yeah.
Well, Marvel put all their stuff so early.
Yeah, it is probably Dark Phoenix for me at the moment. I can't even say that though because I'm curious about it.
Oh,
I'm curious to see if the massive train wreck that could end up being.
I think at best it looks like Justice League because they've done so many reshoots.
Yeah, that's fair. Connor, what are you least looking forward to?
I don't know. I don't know. Like,
Is your answer pass?
Maybe. Like, I don't know. I guess I'll talk about Dark Phoenix a little bit. Wait. There's a super chat about Dark Phoenix in a little bit. I'll talk about Dark Phoenix in a little bit then. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like this was a very front-loaded year.
Yeah.
Where like John Wick 3, Avengers, Lego Movie 2, Alita Battle Angel were all things I was looking forward to, and it was just the first half of the year. So.
Yeah, I can't get super excited about stuff coming out later, and I keep like you, I keep forgetting what's coming. I guess the things I'm more looking forward to are like TV things and stuff. But
Endgame is $200 million away from Avatar, by the way.
Yes, I'm really excited to see where it goes.
And
now
then,
it's nowhere near Avatar's adjusted for inflation numbers, but its actual numbers it is $200 million away from.
Kellen O'Rourke says Joker. Yeah, I mean, I'm not like super stoked for that because I think that could go either way.
Is that him not being excited, or just telling us what's coming out later this year?
I think
that we're
he's just.
about?
I think he's just mentioning that that's a movie coming.
Okay.
We're not talking about it.
Well, and when it comes down
Yeah,
to
I'm
it,
interested. Sure.
the things that I end up liking the most are things I didn't even know about at the beginning of the year. Like last year, I had no idea what Blind Spotting was, but Blind Spotting was like the best movie of last year, and so I didn't know about it.
I didn't
So-
see that because I didn't like Train Spotting, and I figured that wasn't for me, so I didn't go.
No, Blind Spotting is completely different. It's,
I thought that was the follow up.
No, it's
no.
the Train Spotting sequel is called T2 Train Spotting 2.
Is it really? I
Yes.
thought that was the follow up to Train Spotting.
No,
That's why I didn't go. Oh, okay.
It's even more confusing than that. It's T2 Train Spotting, and that was 2 years ago. That was 2017.
Oh, it already came out.
Yeah, no, it's been out for a while.
Oh, I don't think after Terminator 2 you can say T2 anymore.
I don't either.
I think you just can't use that.
But I also
Yeah.
think maybe we have a generation of people that didn't grow up with Terminator.
Don't
2.
use that. Okay, so okay, well yeah, Godzilla, but that's next week. But Connor, I know you said there's a super chat about this later, but I got so like, are you like stoked for Dark Phoenix or something? Like,
Well, no.
oh, okay. You didn't say anything the whole time we talked about that. I thought maybe you were like an outlier, like, oh my god, I can't wait for Dark Phoenix. And this is something against people who are excited about that, but I can't get excited about it because
I don't know how you can be
Kinberg's
excited
not.
with all the behind the scenes stuff that we all know about.
Yeah.
Like it's been reshot like 3 times. And they completely changed the ending. It was supposed to be in space, now it's on a train.
Why would you tell us that? By the way, why would you come out and tell us that?
Well, that scene in the truck from X3 was certainly a highlight. So we really want to emulate that, where everyone's in captivity, and
You know what?
everyone's
The
out of
train scene
captivity.
in X1 is pretty good.
You know what Jason said to me the other day? He goes, "Dad, the only thing I liked about X3 was Juggernaut."
I like that Jamie Madrox is there.
He loved Juggernaut, and I was like, well, it's unfortunate that you can't see Deadpool 2 because they've got a better Juggernaut, but I'm not even going to show you the PG-13 version. Connor, what else, sir?
So TSV asks, what's your opinion on the Batwoman trailer?
I don't want to watch that. I've been back and forth on whether or not I'll review the pilot, just because I've always reviewed the pilots for those shows. But it's not what I want from that character, just because it's in that universe and they don't have a great track record, and it looks like more of the same of their stuff, and it looks, I'm sorry to people who won't agree with this, but it looks extremely pandery, and it looks like the only reason they're making it is to make a big deal out of how progressive they are, and I don't want to see that.
And worse than Supergirl in certain ways, because she's living in the shadow of Batman, but it's all about how independent she is, and you know they're just going to use Batman villains. Like, it's not going to be a lot of, like, her own villains.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you if you wanted to review the first Batwoman trade in the near future.
Let's do that!
Since it's all hot right now.
I'm all for that. Yeah, absolutely. No, it disappoints me, because...
And I think the actress is great casting.
I do too, and I liked her okay in the crossover. I did watch that. One thing that frustrates me is they feel the need to do the origin of the pilot, because in the crossover, she's already Batwoman. So they're going back in time for the pilot just to do the standard origin thing.
Well, what's interesting
and there's no reason you have to do that. Like, you've already introduced her to us, and we know that she took over Wayne Enterprises, and we know, or that she's, because I don't think Wayne Enterprises is actually like going on right now, but she's in the building and she takes over the Batcave. Like, we know all that stuff already. Just move forward.
Well, and that's how the comics are. Like, when she shows up in 52, she's already established, and then when Greg Rucka's run starts, like we do double back later in a later arc and do the origin story thing, but both of her introductions are not origin. I don't think we recover the origin when we do New 52 either.
And I don't feel like you have to see her put on the costume and take over and all of that in order to give her backstory and stuff either. I mean, you can integrate all that easily in a story you're telling moving forward.
And the reason she does the Batman thing is so much more interesting than just like, well, he's gone. So I'm just going to steal all his stuff and make it mine.
It's Birds of Prey status quo. It's like we throw Batman under the bus by being like, well, he turned tail and he ran and he's never coming back. And screw Batman. We've got these other characters now. Like, you don't have to do that. What you do, and I said this with Supergirl, and I still stand by this, you've got Flash, which is, you've got Arrow, which was their stand-in for Batman. I mean, like we always argued that Green Arrow was basically a Batman show. Mm-hmm. You've got Flash, which was supposed to be their opposite, and they did the world's finest thing, and he's basically their Superman, and he is more altruistic and stands up for more Superman-like values, if you forget the fact that he has his own personal prison where he puts all of his villains. But if you forget that part, he's basically Superman. They already have a Batman and Superman in their world, so if you're gonna do Supergirl, you just let her be Superman. Just do all that mythology with her in the first place and don't have Superman at all. And same thing with Batman. Like, you could have a Supergirl and a Batwoman, and both of them, it was their idea in the first place to have those mantles, and they don't have to be in the shadow of a guy, and that's how you do those strong female characters. You don't have to, like, you shouldn't pat yourself on the back about how strong your female characters are when you also don't have the guts to let them really stand on their own. That's my big problem with all of that. It's irritating.
Before we jump to another question, I just want to mention Kellen O'Rourke does not know what the word literally means. Just throwing that out there.
I saw that too. Thank you for... That's my biggest pet peeve.
Well, why are we just dumping on Kellen all of a sudden? Like...
Because he misused the word literally.
Okay, well, a lot of people do that. Like...
Yes, and it should always be called out.
Wow!
I endorse that,
Okay.
Because
well, Kellen, I'm sorry my co-hosts are mean, but what was the context? What did he say?
He said that Terminator Genesis literally took a dump on the Terminator mythology.
Yeah, that's not what literally means.
Yeah, see?
That's true, but I wouldn't have called him out on it without, like, giving context. I don't know. Anyway, all right, let's...
Hey, Kellen. No disrespect, all in good fun, buddy. No, no mean to...
I wasn't being mean, I just thought it was funny. I was like, well, that's not right.
Kellen says, thank you, Eric. All right, moving right along. We've got quite a few super chats, but let's not shaft the pre-written stuff. Let's do another pre-written question and then jump back to Super Chats if we could.
All right. So maybe you guys know more about this, but Mark Guerrero asks, are you interested in Joss Whedon's show on HBO?
I am.
Yeah, I'm very curious about it. He's doing, what, a Victorian thing?
Like a Victorian, like, witch coven or something like that? No, I'm interested.
We talked about it when the news broke back on the Omnibus. But yeah, I haven't heard anything about it since then.
Still waiting for his 6-issue miniseries Twist from Dark Horse that was announced like 4 or 5 years ago. That was supposed to come out like 3 years ago.
You're probably gonna have to keep
Still waiting on that.
Well, I think at the time
which
he
was
didn't
also
think he was getting a TV
pitched
show.
as Victorian Girl Batman. So maybe it's the same thing.
That would be really cool.
It doesn't sound anything like Batman though. Like other than that she dresses up in a costume. Like she's got like magic powers and stuff. I was like, that's not Batman.
Okay, but if it is, there's probably not like a Batman that was there in the first place.
No,
she has to get her idea of being a vigilante from him in the first place. Yeah. Connor, give us another question, sir.
5590ERS asks, who, in your opinion, is the best Batman writer of these three? Grant Morrison, Scott Snyder, or Tom King?
Well, Snyder's out immediately for me, and then the
well.
other two are, like, right on par. I have a hard time putting one above the other at the moment.
I think for me, it's still Morrison, but I have more of Tom King's run to write, and at least stylistically, I like what Tom King did more in the... Like I kept talking about when we review them, they're smaller arcs, they feel more like classic comic books, and he gets a lot done and doesn't, like, forget about it, but... It's still Morrison for me, but Tom King could win out at the end of the day if he gets to finish his run.
Yeah, that seems to be rumor territory, or at least that's what it looks like. But I was weirded out by Twitter because a lot of people on Twitter were acting like it was just like straight up news, and some creators seemed to be sort of acting like it was straight up news. So I'm very confused about that.
DC and Tom King still have not commented.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
Which could be the smoking gun.
I've not looked deep into it.
You'd think if it was not true, Tom King would run out and be like, that's not true, I'm getting to finish my Batman thing. But we'll see.
Dan wrote in the Secret Society today. Quick plug for the Secret Society. We have this cool Facebook group that some of the patrons do with me. Where if you're at the $5 tier, you can talk with me on a daily basis about superhero movies and all kinds of other things. But Dan mentioned in there that they just announced a Batman Catwoman miniseries with Tom King. So it'd be really weird if he was getting taken off his run. But they're doing that.
Well, we'll give him like an extra 6 issues to finish it off on its own.
If that's what that is, that would be awful. So I hope it's not true. But
it's also weird because like the sales are still pretty good. Like all the articles I read is like, well, it wasn't like #1. It got beat up by Immortal Hulk, by the way. Apparently, Immortal Hulk is selling really well. But
Dan says great things about that book.
Yeah, it sounds great. It looks great. I really want to read it. But it's still like a top 10 book. I can't imagine that they're unhappy with top 10 sales.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so. That's weirdly stingy. Like if you're like, well, you don't get to write Batman unless you're #1. You're gonna see a big rotation of Batman writers for a while. Like we'll see 8 in the same year
right now. We're not taking that guy off.
How
we let Tinian write that whole time.
Yeah, I was gonna say how much are we hearing about Arkham Knight right now? Like, oh man, Arkham Knight. Like I don't know anybody who's reading that book. I'm sure people are, but...
Apparently people are annoyed with this current arc with the dreams in Tom King's Batman, but I don't know, I haven't read it yet.
I am several arcs behind, so... Yeah. Connor, what's up?
Oh, and my pick is by landslide Grant Morrison. I have a special place in my heart for Scott Snyder. Like, I'm the guy who started reading comics with the New 52, so... I liked his stuff when it was coming out, and I still think Zero Year is amazing, but a lot of...
Did you like Super Heavy?
I think it's better than a lot of people give it credit for, but it's not great. And
I think the Bruce Wayne stuff is good.
Yeah, it's great.
Going back to the early stuff, it doesn't really hold up that well, I don't think, to me anyways. So I have a special place in my heart for Scott Snyder. I think Metal is terrible. But the...
Really?
I loved when I read it. Metal.
I mean, I haven't finished it, but
yeah,
I loved when I read it.
Everyone else likes it. It's like Final Crisis, but not good. That's what I took it as. And then, oh boy, me and Tom King's Batman have an interesting relationship because for every arc I like, there's an arc that frustrates the crap out of me.
What's the arc you like the least?
You
At
aren't
least
that
up to
old.
50. Don't tell me anything past 50 because we haven't read any of that.
Well, that's good because I haven't read past 50 either.
Okay.
So, there's The Gift that I didn't much care for. There's
Oh, we
everyone.
loved the
I
gift.
love The Gift. It's hilarious.
There's Everyone Loves Ivy, which drove me nuts.
That's fair.
It's not good.
And then there's look, I get that the IM stuff a lot of people like. David Finch's art hurts me when I have to read that. Like
That's fair.
There's-
A lot of people
like-
hate David Finch.
it's what do people see in this guy? He's awful at. Oh man, look at I met the guy. He's a really cool guy, and his wife is a total sweetheart. Like they are really good people. I met them at a con. They're like I don't mean any personal, but like his art hurts me to read.
Blame Bendis. He's the one that escalated him.
Like there's like a part, like the big money shot in I Am Bane where he's like getting up off the ground is this big awesome moment. The first panel on that page, it's like there's no like palm part of Batman's hand. It's like his fingers are going into his wrist as he's getting up. Like what is happening? How this is like the big page.
It's
How did you screw
interesting
this up?
because he doesn't have an artist like Finch again. I think that Finch may have been an editorial mandate because everything else everyone else he's worked with is much more stylistic and cartoony.
Yeah, I love Lee Weeks. When Lee Weeks,
Amazing.
oh my god! But here's the thing, though, Batman Annual #2 almost made me cry. It's a perfect issue. Like it's so good.
I agree.
And,
It
and-
did
and,
make
like-
me cry. I'm pretty sure I said it in the review.
Yeah, it's
That's
really
the one
good.
you didn't. Isn't that the one you didn't read?
No, I read it at some point.
Okay.
but I think that like
Yeah, I think I went back to it later.
King's sensibilities, for me anyways, they strike me better as suited for like graphic novels, like or prestige format, like one shots or like annuals, or like more confined to like because he likes to do structuring gimmicks. And a lot of the times those structuring gimmicks are really cool, but other times he sticks to those gimmicks so hard that they kind of start to hurt the natural flow of the story. And so that's
Yeah, I agree with that.
so I think Grant Morrison's obviously like I think he's a genius. Doom Patrol, Superman. I think Action Comics by Grant Morrison is like one of the most underrated runs recently. Anyways, I'm done rambling
I
about
think
that.
if King had been a bigger deal when he got Batman, he would have had a Greg Capullo, and they would have given him a regular artist to do every book. But that's also harder to do when you're double shipping.
Yeah. But I think they might have given him somebody more to his style. David Finch is weird because I feel like people are split. Like on one side of the audience, he is a superstar artist. On the other side, people are like he is everything that's wrong with superhero comics.
I think he's hit and miss. I've liked him before, but didn't care for him as much on that book. So, I mean, we can all agree you can't write.
Well, yeah.
You know, we can.
Well,
I think,
except for you at one point in your life.
yeah, but we don't talk about that. Connor, how many more super chats do we have right now?
We have quite a bit to get through.
And where are we against the goal?
So right now,
Because my counter doesn't work, and so I have to use Connor as my counter.
okay, so my
just got another
Excel
one.
spreadsheet formula is all wrong, so I'll count it up.
Oh, thanks, Connor. Why don't you throw us out a question, and then you can work on that while we're answering it.
Okay. So Christian Ogden gives us a $5 super chat and says,
Thank you.
if the DC film brand is even half as successful as Marvel 5 years from now, would this be the greatest comeback in Hollywood franchise history?
I
don't
got that
know.
question recently. Yeah, that seems to be a thing that people are kind of preoccupied about. We're like, if this turns around and they don't have to like completely scrap everything and reboot totally. Because the really interesting thing
But
is
there's
that
no
they've
comparable.
there's not because it's a shared universe because it's not just a one film franchise.
Yeah, there's been other franchises that like kind of tanked and they rebooted and like it did well.
But yeah, what's weird about this, what makes it apples and oranges, is that this isn't a straight up reboot.
Yeah,
Like we're still working with stuff we had before.
at least Aquaman and Wonder Woman.
Aquaman and Wonder Woman are the same. Yeah. And Shazam very clearly came out of that you know they still thought BVS and Justice League counted when they made it.
There's nothing like this, and it's weird to especially now moving forward with what they're doing. It's weird to call this a franchise because it's not.
No, it's like a studio.
Yeah,
It's not because it is just Warner Brothers Studios, but it's like a branch of a studio.
Yeah,
They
there's
make superhero movies based on DC Comics, and every now and again those movies are sort of talking to
there's
each
just
other.
nothing comparable.
No, that's why that's been a difficult question for me to answer. Yeah. Yeah, can you think of a Square straight up film franchise that was like just totally done and then get like because I
mean
can't.
James Bond,
Well, and even Batman was this
Die
way.
Another Day in the Casino Royale, and then obviously Batman and Robin into. But I mean, there's a large gap between Batman and Robin Begins.
Yeah. And like you can't count Spider-Man because that's almost the reverse thing. Like 3 did okay, but then they had to reboot, and then people didn't like Amazing, so or at least it was polarizing.
Yeah, but then they rebooted again. It was super successful.
That's true. Yeah, history's getting interesting. Connor, I'm sorry that I have to use you as the counter. Have you figured that out?
Yes, I have. What is our goal?
75.
All right, we are at 63.96.
Wow, we're close, guys. Awesome. It sounds like we are just shy of $10 away from me streaming Telltale Batman tomorrow evening.
One of those like green visors.
He should have a green
like
yeah. And he looked great with that suit wearing that. Also, yeah, and we could he could do that, and we could also have we could have a roulette night.
And a cigarette on one of those like long things, like Cruella de Vil has.
You just need people to be smoking. That's you just want us to look edgy. You know, it'd be like Geekvolution is not against
when they're doing the books. They got the thing on.
No, that's true. I know. But
Maybe always don't have the long thing. Maybe it's just normal cigarette. I don't know.
No, I think sometimes it depends on the time period.
Yeah.
If it's like 40s or 50s, they definitely have that. Okay, Connor, let's blow through the super chat, shall we, sir?
Yes, sir. The Day Ghost gives us in Canadian dollars $6.99.
Thanks, man.
I
don't know how that translates. I don't know what the exchange rate is.
It's like $3.
I don't know.
No,
but,
I don't think that's
I don't
true.
think it's half the American dollar. Okay,
I was gonna go lower, and then I said $3. I meant to say like
it's like $1.50.
like 30 cents.
It's like Japanese yen.
Okay, Jeffrey sent us
just
a
shoot us over the
$12
goal?
super chat. He just sent us a $12 super chat and said Geekvolution is.
Thanks, Jeffrey. That's
Very
really
cool.
ominous, man. That puts me in the dark side spot. Thanks, man. We sure appreciate it. Sounds like I am telltaling tomorrow.
Yep, we are now at $75.96.
Call it.
Wow.
Just cut the
Thanks,
show.
No, not another.
We did it, guys.
I don't want to shaft the pre-written, and we got to finish all the super.
Well,
chats.
and the super chats that already
Yeah,
paid.
that's it. That's important. Thanks, everybody. We sure appreciate it. Okay, Daniel Davis says Geekvolution is a state of mind. Yeah, that's the only way I can describe my state of mind. The last 10 years I've been doing this, and how you feeling, Cap? Geekvolution. Connor, let's blow through the super chats. Go ahead, sir.
All right. Thank you all for watching. It's been a great evening. Oh, wait. Crap. Okay, so sorry for sending the off-topic super chat in the Spider-Verse commentary. I didn't realize it was a commentary and felt bad when I found out.
I don't even remember what the super chat was. Did we answer it? Did we talk about it?
Did we talk about it, Day Ghost?
Well, we'll find out. There's a bit of a lag when you're dealing with text. But no, that's okay. I totally understand. No problem. Kellen O'Rourke says Geekvolution literally is.
Okay, so...
Oh, I'm glad Eric didn't... I'm glad he has a sense of humor about that. That's great. Go ahead, Connor.
I wasn't a jerk about it.
The Vampire Diaries, $5 super chat, thank you so much for your donation, says, Telltale's games got me into Batman comics. I sucked at the Arkham games, but Telltale games were much easier to play, and I loved the stories.
Well, I gotta tell you, I could not sympathize more with that comment. I also am not great at I'm at least not great at the Arkham games when people are watching me playing them. I'm about to put up a supercut of the Arkham playthrough that Dan's and I did a couple weeks ago, and about half that supercut is.
Hello, can anyone else hear me? Yes, there you go. Okay. You said
The microphone popped up.
You said about half that supercut is, and then you turn.
Oh, okay. Well,
something,
I'll finish that sentence now. So, yeah, I pulled the cord out and didn't realize it. Anyway, yeah, half that supercut is just me, like, running around not figuring out where to go, and Dan's going, no, go that way. And there's this amusing bit where I'm trying to get to the front of a church, and he keeps making fun of me for not getting there, and he's like, no, it's over there. You don't have to fight those guys, just go over that wall. And I go over a wall, and I gotta fight some guys, and then he goes, oh wait, you're not there yet. But yeah, Telltale is great. I'm excited to go through that again. I honestly, I wish I was playing through the first one again, just to refresh myself on it. But that was a request from Malik a while ago when I was still doing the monthly $20 request, and I have to fulfill that. And I figured if folks wanted to see me play it, we would try the goal thing, and then I would just I would just hang out with people while I did it. But yeah, I gotta go back through that. What he wanted me to do was take the other Joker path than the one that I did, and I haven't played it in so long, I decided to just play the entire thing instead of going to that spot and playing on, because I don't know if I'll remember enough about that story to talk about it.
Remember to pick Harley and not Bane, because it's confusingly worded.
Okay.
Yes! That was obnoxious.
Should we keep it rolling?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
All right, so the Day Ghost gives us another $6.99 in Canadian dollars. Super chat, thank you for the donation, the Day Ghost. He says, have you guys heard about Lucas's version of the sequel trilogy with the villains called the Whills, who feed on the Force? I heard about this. It sounds weird, and I kind of like it.
Okay, so they don't feed on the Force. They're like the creators of or gods of the Force.
I have heard of that, yeah.
And they date back to the first draft of Star Wars. It's what I wanted from a sequel trilogy, and what I thought I was going to get with the title The Force Awakens. And we get an off reference to it in Rogue One. They have the Temple of the Whills.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, no, George Lucas's trilogy sounds like what I wanted the Star Wars trilogy to be, which is something different, new, and moving the universe forward. But he also says it would be an ending, and you couldn't make more Star Wars after it, so... I really hope someday we get the leaked draft that the guy that wrote Toy Story 3 wrote for Episode 7 under Lucas before they went to Disney.
Well, I'm glad it's not just I wouldn't like the premise that was just mentioned, that it would be something that fed on the Force, because that's about as silly to me as a thing that repels the Force.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't like that in Thrawn, so. Solar Dragon says he doesn't really care for the idea that the Force was created.
I can't remember exactly how it's
on
worded. If it's controller, if it's like creator or controller, like there's something way beyond us or humans. We're not in that universe.
Yeah, it could be a bad idea to literalize the religion thing, where it's like it is a god or it was created by gods. Go ahead, Connor.
Pandora, $5 super chat, says, what are your top 3 summer release movies that you are looking forward to seeing, and why?
We kind of talked about this earlier, about how a lot of the stuff that we were excited about has kind of come and gone already. Godzilla's next week, so of course we're excited about that. Spider-Man's coming really soon. Once
Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. No, I am excited about that movie. What else though?
The new trailer was really good.
I
looks
didn't
kind
watch
of
it.
melancholy and
it does, yeah. I wouldn't have even thought to mention that in a list of blockbusters.
But hey, I just hope Stuntman Bob makes an appearance. That's what I'm really excited about. That was a Death Proof reference to anyone who cares. So,
really?
Whoosh.
Because
that's his
Kurt
worst
Russell's
movie. Why would he reference it? Even he acknowledges it.
It's the first half of Death Proof is his best movie. Hot take, but anyways.
All my issues are with the second half, so I won't argue with you on that.
Real quick, I wanted to thank Callan O'Rourke for being on the show. He's leaving now. He's literally leaving. And it was really nice of him to be here, but he is literally gone now.
Anyways, but yeah, my 3 are Godzilla, Spider-Man, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Those are my 3.
I don't even know if there's anything else coming out that I'm super interested in.
Thinking about a lot of other movies.
Does Joker count? It's like October. It's not a summer movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the major stuff.
John Wick 3 is one of those I'm really looking forward to because it's just a great action movie. And then Endgame I'm excited for that too because it was also a really great action movie as well. And, you know.
All right, what else, sir?
Okay, Shane Williams gives us $1. He says, "How do you feel about Endgame now?"
About like I did. I mean, I've seen it 3 times, and I'm still happy with it. I have all the same problems I had with it. I like all the stuff that I liked about it. I'm in exactly the same place.
I have not rewatched it, so I feel the same way too. Although I will also plug the Superhero Secret Society on Facebook. Someone did come up with the best explanation fold cap I've heard, which is that he lives in an alternate timeline to that age, and then pops back over to the prime timeline, and then that timeline goes away. That's the best explanation I've heard.
Because he takes 4 of the Pym particles from the lab, so maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know, but I don't know. I like that movie.
But is he still holding them at that point? Here's the thing, though: the 4 Pym particles are the only way to explain how... I broke this down at one point, but I didn't do it on video because I haven't talked about it since I saw it a second and third time. But the other Pym particles he grabs, is the only explanation for how bad Nebula is able to get Thanos to the present. So they have to have been used already.
Well, no, because bad Nebulas went to a different time than Cap and Iron Man.
No, I know that, but it's off screen
after they get
back. So it's off screen. They don't show us how they do it, but Thanos doesn't have any way to get to the present, and we know that she presses buttons on the machine that brings him there. The only possible explanation is that she took those Pym particles and sent them back to Thanos. It's the only possible explanation.
And she has like a tiny little pocket spaceship, so yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I like Endgame. It's like my 3rd favorite Marvel movie, but it is by far the most flawed movie in my top 10. So I don't know. Whatever. It works for me. Should we keep going?
Well, yeah, we gotta. Let's roll. We got 5 minutes left if we're gonna end the show on time, and Connor and I have things to do, so we do need to try to finish as soon as we can, but we've got to finish these super chats. So go ahead, sir. Yeah.
Jeffrey E. Patron, $10 super chat. Thank you very much, Jeffrey.
Thanks, buddy.
Says, "The Last Stand was painful to watch. The bar is so low, and even still, I have zero confidence for Dark Phoenix, I assume." So.
Well, and isn't it the same guy writing both of them?
Yes. Simon Kinberg wrote
Didn't he write X3? Yeah.
I don't want to go to bat for X3. It's not as bad as X-Men Origins.
No, it's not.
It's not. I watched through all the X-Men movies before Apocalypse was coming out with a friend of mine, and we laughed our butts off while watching X-Men 3 because it is hilarious. The funniest thing was when my friend realized halfway through the movie that Cyclops was dead. No, really, he's dead.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, what? He's dead? That was funny.
Yeah,
anyways,
once you know the depressing deaths are coming, it's easy to laugh at that movie. The first time you see it, if you have any investment at all, it's devastating.
When Iceman gives his one-liner after beating Pyro, hilarious, just hilarious. So
cool down.
I don't even remember what he said.
He said cool party or something like that. So
the Iceman cometh.
You need to take a chill pill, bro.
Oh, I have a joke for that, but I'm not gonna do that.
So I don't know. I guess I should.
Oh, he's frozen.
Ha!
Sorry, Connor, you froze for a second, and then I said you're frozen, and then he thought that was funny because we were talking about ice things.
That's hilarious.
Yep.
Anyways, I love Days of Future Past. That's one of my all-time favorite superhero movies. I absolutely love Days of Future Past a lot. And I don't hate Apocalypse. I think it's mediocre. There are things about it I do like, but it's not nearly as good as it should be. But doggone it, I can't get excited for Dark Phoenix, at all. With every subsequent trailer, I just care less and less. And I don't know. I wish
it just feels
like a less and less interesting movie.
Doesn't it just feel like a dog that should have already been put down? I mean, that's the problem. Is we're making a big deal just because Fox got bought out. That this is the end of this franchise, and it's finally. And I'm like,
it was never conceived to be that.
It should have been. Yeah, that's the first thing, and the second thing is if we could have known this was going to happen. The place to end everything would have been Days of Future Past. You just don't even do Apocalypse. It's a brilliant send-off. But Logan's a separate thing. I always say that. Whenever people say, no, Logan is the great send-off, I'm like, yeah, but it's a separate thing. You do Days of Future Past as a send-off to everybody else first, and then you jump to the future, and then you give Wolverine his last movie, and then you're out.
Wolverine, but like, it calls back to the first movie, and like it feels like an ending, not necessarily continuity-wise, but...
That's true, but the difference is Days of Future Past more or less feels like it still sort of fits in what is a semblance of a continuity that still sort of works, and Logan has to ignore a lot of stuff to make it work. Logan has to ignore Days of Future Past to make it work. They take place in almost the same year.
Well, and the first three were Wolverine movies anyways.
Yeah. That's true.
Grim Death Griffin says, you should have stayed in school, he thinks was the Iceman one-liner. I think he should have said, hey, school is cool, and then take him out. That would be the best film.
Or he just does the shoulder touch from Spider-Verse. Hey, and then he freezes him.
Yeah. Anyways, Malik Myers, Reborn, gives us a $5 super chat. Thank you very much, Malik. He says, I know we haven't had a genuinely great Terminator film since T2, but I'm genuinely excited for Terminator Dark Fate.
I think it looks like it has potential. I think the CGI looks terrible, and I'm hoping it's just early trailer CGI and not anything resembling final CGI.
Yeah, that's exactly where I'm at on it.
Okay, I have a question. When was the last time the CG was fixed when you saw the movie compared to the trailer?
I feel like that happens, doesn't it?
I can't remember the last time I thought something looked really bad and it didn't look bad in the theater, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not immediately thinking of any examples, but I mean... I was just gonna say I haven't seen Aladdin yet, but like the trailers after the one where everybody was freaking out about how the genie looked better than that.
I don't agree with that. I think when he's blue, he still looks bad.
Oh, okay. But does he look that bad? Is it as much of an Uncanny Valley thing like it was there? Because like they made a big deal in the very next trailer. Oh no, it's not all Uncanny Valley. There are shots where it's just his face talking, but he's blue. It's not just a CG creature. But maybe I'm wrong. The problem is I see a lot of trailers on my phone, and that isn't the way to watch trailers, so...
Okay. I don't know. I've seen exactly one Terminator movie, and it was really cool, but that's it.
You need to see two. You need to see two.
I will be watching it this year. It is the number one movie on my list of shame, so I'm going to watch it. I finally knocked out The Evil Dead and Predator and Die Hard last year, so I feel like I'm shaping up pretty good.
Oh, good job.
Not to put like too fine a point on it, but Terminator 2 I think is maybe the greatest summer blockbuster of all time. Like, it's perfect.
It's pretty close to perfect. Yeah.
Not to hype it up too much.
Not to hype it up, but it's a nigh perfect film, except for time travel stuff, because nothing ever gets that right.
Connor, I don't feel like I'm hyping it too much when I say it, because I always liked Terminator 2 okay, and then when I did a rewind on it and wrote about it for 45 minutes, oh no, this movie's perfect. Like,
very nice. Yeah, so I'm excited to finally watch it, for sure. Mr. Roboto gives us a $2 super chat, says, Cap, how's life with 3 kids? Also, Eric, Amazon Du Bois.
What does that mean?
That's Amazon's doing The Boys,
which
is a series by a comic series by Garth Ennis. I read the first arc or two of.
We did talk about this when the news dropped. Yeah, I forgot about that.
You know what I hate about it? I have to watch it.
Why?
Because it stars Carl Urban and he looks like he's going to be awesome.
Oh. I wonder if Vince will watch that show.
I don't know. He read some of that. He read like half of that, right?
He did. He reviewed it on the channel or recommended it or something.
Yeah, no, it's not good. I've heard it gets better later, and it gets more Garth Ennis-y in the heart and feelings department. But boy, does Carl Urban look awesome in that trailer.
Life with 3 kids is great. I mean, it's more, complicated than life with 2 kids was. You have different periods where dealing with a baby is easier and other periods where it's a lot harder, where you'll rest on your laurels, you'll get really used to a status quo, and then a few weeks later you realize that you're dealing with a living thing and they evolve and they change and they grow. And you'll have periods where he's a lot more complicated and you have to hold him more often, or he's crawling, or he's starting to walk, or whatever it is. And so I'm in a period right now where I can get a lot of work done. But here in a few weeks, when Mikey is crawling and getting closer to walking, I'm probably not going to be able to get as much work done during the week. And so it's, I don't know, it's harder having a job on top of taking care of kids. Like if I had nothing else that I was doing, it would be easier. But you have to kind of schedule around it, and it can be kind of difficult. But he's the easiest of the three. Like as a baby, I've gotten so much more done with Mikey around than I ever did with Jason or Freddy. So yeah, no, he's a lot of fun. It gets the hardest thing with Mikey right now is when his mom comes home. When Sarah gets home, all he wants is to go to his mom, and if she's not immediately grabbing him, he just freaks out and gets really upset. And we have to
keep having kids. Eventually, it gets the one that requires no attention, no care, completely self-sufficient.
Yeah, this sounds like just an experiment, like a genetic experiment. Connor, what else?
All right, we have the $12 super chat from Jeffrey Patron. Thank you again for your donation, who said, Geek Evolution is, period. We've already addressed that. And the final super chat of the night comes from Lightning City, $5. Thank you very much for your donation. What did you guys think of the Joker trailer? I barely joined, so I'm not sure if this got asked already.
I don't think I've really talked about it hardly at all.
I thought we did talk about it. I thought it was like the last Omnibus.
Was it on the last Omnibus? Maybe it was.
I think so.
Maybe it was.
I feel like I've been on camera talking about it.
I thought it came out after that, and I hadn't gone live yet talking about it, or even on the Omnibus, but maybe not. I don't know. I think it could go either way. We did talk about it.
Yeah.
Things are coming to me that I said before.
About how it looks like it could be kind of cookie cutter, kind of punching in.
And it could be real prequel-y.
And it looks like the most obvious origin you could give the Joker, but it also looks like it could be great.
It looks stylistically boss.
Mm-hmm.
And I love doing that as a period piece.
I don't like how much older than Bruce Wayne he is. Because he's going to be like 70 when Bruce Wayne is punching him in the face.
See, I want to reserve judgment on that kind of thing if there is never anything else in that continuity, and think like, well, you don't even have to think about Batman down the line, but then if you're doing the Waynes and you're doing Batman stuff, then what's the point of that? So I'm mixed on that. But I don't know, I think it could go either way. But my big thing is, if it's terrible and if people hate it, I hope that Warner's doesn't lose their minds again. I hope they can finally weather a loss and just keep going in the direction they're going, which is just letting people make movies. Because they're in a place now after a couple of massive successes, or at least decent success. Aquaman was huge. Shazam did fine, but was critically. I think it was like 90% of Rotten Tomatoes. People really liked that movie. So I feel like moving forward, they should be able to weather losses and just keep making movies.
I'm going to predict, unless it is like awful, like just unbearably bad, that Joker is going to be huge. And whatever his voice is, we are going to have to listen to people doing for the next 5 years.
Because that always happens with a popular Joker.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Okay, cool. Folks, we want to thank you, everybody who put in a super chat and everybody who did a pre-written question. I always apologize for not getting to all the pre-written questions. That is, of course, impossible. Duke just showed up right to the end of the show. Hi, Duke. He says, boo! And then John Early says, Duke Loop's yawn. Because Duke has this thing where usually when he comes into the show, he says yawn. And I used to think it was because he was bored or he didn't care about what I was talking about. But it turns out that it's just because he always shows up right after work and he's tired. That's why he does that.
I thought you were going to say it was like an acronym. Like you're
That's
always
hilarious.
Something.
You're always
wearing neckties.
I like wearing neckties. What did you say, Connor?
I said, you're always walking north.
That's pretty good, too. All right, thanks as always for joining.
Eventually you'll end up north, every direction.
Thanks as always for hanging out with us on The Captain Logan Show. I was Captain Logan. Right behind me was Eric Holden, guesting on the show, helping us to answer some questions, and filling in for DJ tonight. Did an absolutely wonderful job. It's Connor Nielsen. And Connor, thanks for helping us out. I know I gave you some extra things to do tonight. You had to keep track of the Enemy Within stream and all of that. Thanks for doing that.
What is the final count? Was it just $5
That should have
more?
put us at 80, I think.
$80.96.
Wow.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
How much in Canadian?
We sure appreciate it. Like $5, I think.
Well, no, it goes the other way. It's like $600.
Oh, I was really confused if you were saying like the Canadian dollar was worth that much more than the American dollar. Anyway, thanks everybody for supporting us either by super chats and watching or just hanging out with us and watching. We sure appreciate everybody. You guys are wonderful. I will be broadcasting live as promised tomorrow night with at least the first chapter of Telltale Batman Volume 2. And we'll be back with you with lots more videos next week on Geekvolution. I also will have a new video up with Connor tomorrow, assuming we can get it knocked out real quick, about Brightburn. And in the meantime, I was Captain Logan. Thanks a bunch for watching. We sure appreciate you. And this concludes this week's Captain Logan Show. Bye, everybody.